Welcome to Caldwell County Today. I'm Paige Counts, Public Information Officer for Caldwell County. Joining me today is Diana Hale, and Diana's with the DAR, and she has a very special and important project she's working on. Welcome, Diana.
Thank you, Paige.
Tell us a little bit about Welcome Home. What is it?
It's primarily designed to encourage a Vietnam veteran, and since he was welcomed back after the war so shabbily, we can't erase all of the hurt, but we can at least welcome them home. We can appreciate their service and their dedication at a time that was really difficult. And we've involved children. We're hoping to involve the communities and the organizations within Caldwell County to help promote that welcome home.
And as little as most people might think of this, it's been 50 years.
It has. 58 this year.
58 this year. So that's a long time without being welcomed home.
Yes.
There's so much to talk about, so some of this may not feel like it's in order. We're just going to try to hit everything. Let's first talk about DAR's. I think you are a big piece of this because you've done something similar to this in Oregon, right?
Yes. We did a welcome home in Oregon, and that was our first stab, so to speak, at welcoming them home. And what was neat at the very end of the event, veterans asked if they could have the microphone. And oh my gosh, to learn, and get insight. And they were talking to one another at one table. And the fellow that shared this one thing, he was on an aircraft. And it happened to be one that was burned. And there were more than 2,000 Navy personnel that died aboard that. But he said at his table that day was one of the ones that came to the rescue and helped save him. And it was just little stories. My husband was a Vietnam vet, and he was there in 1965, which is when most, at least the Marines, went in then. And he didn't get his welcome home until 2015. And many of those at that event did not till then. And I guess I'm so passionate about them. And it actually led to a book that within the DAR, it was recognized as #1 2 years ago. So that was kind of cool. But we don't know whether this will end in a book. The main thing is encouragement and expressing our love and care for the Vietnam vet.
Let's talk about your book, because I know that it may not end in a book, but you're kind of working toward the book. Tell us about what's in your book.
Well, first we had just several opening statements about welcoming them. I met a poet along the way who wrote several poems, and they are in the book. We had Vietnam veterans and their wives who wrote books. One of them was called Kool-Aid, and it told how they could drink the water because they added Kool-Aid to it. And it was just little stories. I already have one Vietnam vet here that suffered from PTSD. And he wrote a poem as an assignment. And so we will have that available with his permission. We have proclamations from various dignitaries all the way up to the President of the United States. We have little thumbnail sketches on each one. Some sent pictures in, so we have their pictures. We did student contests just like we're doing here. And so we have drawings in here. We have stamps that were designed by children. We have essays and poems that were designed by them. And at the beginning of each section, because we've roped it off by whatever military organization, I either have the song for the Navy or the song for the Marines, but something attributed to that. And then at the very end, some of them gave us pictures that they had taken when they were in Vietnam.
So, and then I'm just going to randomly pick a page here. I was hoping to pick one with the feature of the veterans.
And that book can actually be ordered. You can go to bookbaby.com and they can order that. It's actually called Josephine County, Oregon, Vietnam Veteran Honor Roll.
And you want to do this, your goal, I'm going to say goal.
It is.
Your goal, she's being very kind and humble about this, but her goal is to put together a book. And one of the things you would like is to speak with Vietnam veterans. One, to know who our Vietnam veterans are in Caldwell County, but two, just to get some basic information.
Yes.
How can folks get a hold of you to do that?
Hopefully on a website you might be able to post the survey form, which basically just tells their name, the branch of service, when they served there, where they served, and what their job was. For ones that have already passed, we're hoping that the widow, a son, or daughter might relay that information. Because when we do have the event in November, we would like to invite the veteran plus one, or in the case of a fallen soldier, then someone from that family to come and represent them. We will be giving out certificates for them. But I don't know, I'm excited because you learn each time you do this more about Vietnam, more about some of the tasks that our veterans have done. And in this one, I had 3 unique conversations with people that their lives were spared because of someone praying here at home for them. It was like walking through the jungle. A gentleman said that he was leading his troop and something fell on his shoulder. It turned out to be a small cross. And he looked up above and it was full of Viet Cong in the trees. So he quietly got his troops through. But who would have thought the opposing team, so to speak, would have had a cross? But he just felt like it was God telling him, get a hustle through this, otherwise you might not make it. And then we have launched the student program, and that's really exciting to me because in school, and I think you spoke also, and even as a history teacher in junior high and high school, Vietnam was not something that was prominently talked about. And I taught junior high and high school, and it just, I don't know, they knew when it happened, but that was about all. I did have them interview someone in their past, but it could be World War I, II, or Korea. But it's a way for the student to become involved and to learn more. In Oregon, I went in and actually spoke with classes and just shared a little bit about the Vietnam War and the soldier. And so we're in hopes of like 4th through 6th grade, they will draw a picture, and somewhere, anywhere on that picture, to have a welcome home on it. Could be a soldier they draw, it could be anything. And then for the junior high, which is typically 6th through 8th, we're asking for a poem. It is 16 to 36 lines long. And it doesn't matter the format, it can rhyme. They choose the verse for the poems that they want. Just title each poem and then title your essay as well.
And you are working with the school system
Yes.
to conduct these contests. So parents, grandparents, be listening for, keep an ear out for these contests that are coming up.
They've already been given to
They've
the
already been
schools,
given to the schools.
and then the high school students will be writing an essay. And it was really humbling to know, especially with the essay and the poem, how much research the student had done on the Vietnam War and that they captured it. It was really kind of special.
And will the winners be placed in the, if there's a book, will the winners be
Yes.
placed in the book?
And at our event, all of the drawings and writings will be posted and available for reading.
You've mentioned an event several times, and this is very early notice to mark your calendar. But you are having a welcome home event.
November 10th, and it's at the First Baptist Church in Hudson between roughly 1 and 3, although we suspect it will kind of go probably till 4.
What can people expect at the event?
We're going to have a guest speaker. We will have, it's a short program, and some call it I like to call it the Fallen Comrade. And you have an empty table with certain events, certain items on that. And that represents the person who has fallen and cannot be there. We have 20 Caldwell County gentlemen that passed actually in Vietnam. They were killed there. And we want to have a remembrance table for them with their pictures. And then we're thinking that we might have another table for those that have passed since that time. We will have Vietnam service pins that will be given out, as well as certificates of appreciation. We will have a gift bag for each veteran or the widow or designated person from that family to receive. We're designating them by colors, red, white, and blue.
Okay.
We'll have a decorated cake and finger foods. We will have certificates and monetary gifts and ribbons for the students winning first, second, or third. We will probably have an open mic if the veterans choose to have an open mic. We're just, and we're going to have door prizes, and that's where we'd like the support of the community. I know Little John United Methodist Church Quilting Club is going to donate a quilt. And we're hoping that other groups that might have quilting groups or maybe businesses might be willing to donate something to be given away to the veteran. We will have proclamations that are read. It's kind of the general theme of what, it's all to bring, I won't say joy, but maybe peace and comfort and appreciation for what the Vietnam veteran has done and sacrificed for us.
And it's a lot. There's a lot there, and people that want to say thank you. For people who want to make a donation of a door prize or want to get involved in some way, what's the best way to contact you?
There's 3 different ways.
Well, I should ask, are you the best contact for this?
I'm the chairman.
I assumed you were.
Myself or Jeannie Holler. She's a professor at Caldwell Community College. But my email is Diana, Diana, period, HALE, 69 @gmail.com. Home phone is 828-572-2362. And I have a text number or cell, which is 541-761-3641. So any of those ways, They could also drop off something perhaps if they chose at Caldwell Heritage Museum and just write on it Diana or welcome home, and then information how we can contact them.
Awesome. Before the interview started, we were talking about Vietnam Day, and that is coming up fairly soon. Tell us what Vietnam Day is.
It was a day that was proclaimed, I want to say in the 1980s or 90s, and it was to recognize the veterans of the Vietnam. And for a long time, there wasn't anything like that. And we celebrated it last year by hosting an event at Caldwell Heritage Museum. We had a member from each military branch of service, and he spoke. And I need to speak with the director again and ask if that is feasible for us to do something. And we would invite people to come and hear firsthand from veterans what it was like, how we can help. Also at the event, and sorry to turn it around,
That's okay.
but I had approached Regina Goforth at the VA, the Veterans Center here in Lenoir, and I said, would you like to come and share? Because sometimes there are benefits to the Vietnam veteran that are not available to other people. And so she is going to come, and there are several new benefits that are available. It's not just to Vietnam veterans that were stationed only in country. Now they're recognizing veterans who, like the colonel I was speaking about earlier, he now can have benefits, even though he was stationed in Thailand, because he supported the war and actually flew over country.
And a plug for our veteran services, they do reach out to all kinds of veterans, and if there's a new benefit, they find out and they let as many people know as possible. So if you're a vet and not connected with our veteran services, do yourself a favor and make that connection.
Yes, in the same building, at 905 West
Avenue. So definitely reach out to Regina, and I'm glad that she's going to be there too.
Regina will be, Kim Vance and Tammy.
So the whole staff, they're bringing everybody. So that means you need to be there too. If you're
Yes.
a Vietnam vet, it's a really good reason to be there.
And a plug to the organizations. You know, if you wondered if there was a way that you could truly support a veteran, get involved. You could donate money. Just the prizes alone for the students will total about $470. And then just a lot of things going on. If we end up going and publishing a book, we actually will need funds to publish it.
It's not a cheap endeavor.
No, but it's a very worthwhile one. I mean, I have my own vet that I love, but I go to DAV in Hudson on Fridays and meet the vets there. And it's really been encouraging to talk to them and encourage them and express appreciation. I would encourage anyone, look for the hat or the uniform that says Vietnam vet. Ask them, you know, well, where did you serve? And say, welcome home. It means so very much. When my husband had his, he was wearing his hat, and he hears it more now. He even has meals that someone will go to pay. He says, oh no, that couple over there already paid for you and thanks you for your service. So you and I can benefit another Vietnam veteran or another service member just by thanking them and by providing a meal or engaging in conversation.
A lot we can do. I'm going to try to sum up because we've given a lot of information. For Vietnam veterans, you want to talk with them and you have a
Yes.
form. So that's one way to get involved.
And I can email it to anyone that would like it.
That would like a copy. You also have a contest that will be in the schools for students to celebrate Vietnam vets, and that's for students in 3rd grade through high school.
Mm-hmm.
Where kids can get involved. Businesses, churches, organizations, philanthropists can make donations to the DAR for this benefit, right? Am I missing anything?
No, the only thing that I didn't pass on earlier is sometimes churches have cemeteries, and then to those that own their own cemeteries. If you know of Vietnam veterans that are buried in your cemetery, I would love to hear from you, because some of the cemeteries are quite large and it's hard to go through all of them to find those, because sometimes a deceased veteran may have moved from our area. But we still want to honor anyone that was either born here or lived any part of their life in our county.
Well, and here, I know we have a lot of family cemeteries, and it would take years to visit all of them. So that's another good point. Diana, thank you for what you're doing.
Oh, it's a blessing. It's a true blessing.
And I thank DAR for their work in this too, because I know you're heading up the effort, but there are a lot of people involved.
Yes, the whole group. When we started, basically 4 years ago, we started with 50 members. Now, some of us were longtime members that transferred, but it's a wonderful group of ladies, and we just God, home, and country are our mission or our vision. And so we work with children, we work with veterans, we work with historic preservation.
Well, since we're talking about DAR, how can someone get involved with DAR? Because I honestly don't know.
I joined first because I found a relative that was in it, and I have joined actually no other organizations other than my church, because this has everything. They can contact me. They can drop by the Caldwell Heritage Museum. Our region is actually the director there. They can call. I can put them in contact with our registrar, Patricia. But we'd love to have them. I've been a member for 40 years and in a lot of different states, but this particular chapter, we're like a big family. And who doesn't love a family that cares about each other?
That's true. Diana, thank you for being here, and thank you for the information and for your work with our veterans, particularly Vietnam veterans. And I hope you'll come back and join us as we get closer to the event and maybe closer to a book. And thank you for watching Caldwell County Today.